Hello, nice to see you. Small group today. It's funny, I never know how many people will show up, and the same number of people always register, and then it's just different with whoever's showing up. But it doesn't matter because we're recording and there's lots of people who like to listen to the recording. So it's so nice to see you. I've never done this call with just one other person, so I feel like I'm just talking directly to you, Leisha. So cool. Yeah. Are you okay to talk, or do you need to keep?
No, I'm okay to talk.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So what we're going to do today is a little bit of sort of more journaling style coaching, and happy to have a conversation around all of this as well. And so the, sort of the theme that I wanted to think about is, what will you accomplish this week? Always with a focus towards your coaching practice. You're a coach, right?
Yes.
So always with a focus towards a coaching practice, and like, what do you want to do this week? We think of these goals and we think about 1-year goals and 3-year goals and 10-year goals and all that, but we never create 10-year goals without dealing with this week and the next week and the next week and the next week. So I like to sort of bring it down to this, like this real level of like, how do you want to be for the next week, and what would you accomplish this week coming that will help you to move towards that future. I think we got a couple more people coming in. So hi, Beryl Ann, nice to see you here.
Hi, thank you, Candy. Likewise.
Yeah. Are you going to come on camera, or are you a non-camera person today?
I'll come eventually. Give me a
Okay.
couple minutes. I'll come. Thanks.
Yeah, don't worry. So the idea is like, what will you accomplish this week? So of course I do have a worksheet that I'll put the link in the chat that you guys can download, but it's not necessary. You don't have to use this worksheet. I like doing a worksheet just because it keeps me super, organized would be how I would describe it. But you can do this work in a journal as well. And I really want to hear from you as well. Like, what are you learning? There we go. Put that in there. What are you learning? What's your experience? And also, how can I help you better? That would be my other, my other comment as well. Like, what could I talk about that would support you even more? So let me just change the view on this to gallery. Where is it? Gallery fun. Okay. And show non-video. There we go. Cool. Great. So sound like a plan? I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to answer them either in writing. You're going to let me know how it goes. I also want to hear how I want to hear what you're learning about. This is a place for us to sort of set the tone of our week. And it's one of the reasons that I decided to do these calls on a Monday morning. At least it's Monday morning, my time. It's like, I feel at the end of these calls like I've started my week off on the right foot. And so that way, then everything just makes so much more difference. Hey, Donna, nice to see you here as well. If you want to come on camera, do. If you're not comfortable coming on camera, that's okay too. I'm not worried about it. Let's see. Oh, and Frances is still jammed up. She's got connectivity issues. Okay, so grab your pen, grab your paper, and I'm hoping that after we talk about these questions and after you start on these questions, that we have a little bit of time to coach as well. And if we do, because I never know exactly how long these things are going to take, if we've got time to coach, I am happy to coach about this particular topic, anything to do with your coaching practice right now. There's so much going on in the world, but I think it's better if we just sort of keep it contained to what's going on with your coaching practice, becoming a coach, your business, all the ways that I can support you there. And if you're being coached, great, I'm happy to do it. And if you're not being coached, here's what I would suggest is instead of thinking about what you might like to be coached on while somebody else is being coached, watch that person, be the coach, get curious in your own mind as well. Like, what would I ask? What am I noticing? What am I learning from that conversation? And every time I'm in a group coaching environment, I look at the people who are being coached, conversation after conversation after conversation. And my one question is, how does this apply to me? Lots of times at first, I think it doesn't. But then I kind of like, if I ask my brain to go, how does this apply to me? My brain will go and find a way. And sometimes when you're not the person on the hot seat, the person who's watching gets the bigger shift in perspective because you're not kind of feeling like you're being watched. So you're kind of more relaxed. So if you're not being coached, how does this apply to me? And what will I do differently? How will I show up differently? How will I be differently? What different actions could I take that will support me for my particular situation? So that would be sort of the housekeeping ground rules that I would put around coaching as well. Okay. So first question, I want to know what you'd like to create this week. Like, what do you want to accomplish in your business this week?
This week I want to meet with my website developer to start building content. So I want to really start giving her information that she can apply on my website. And I've been kind of dancing around that because I'm trying to figure out what I want to incorporate on there. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like overthinking, like, what are my skills? What can I do? Like, how would I be beneficial? And so this week I really want to hone in on that so that I can give her content to apply on my actual website.
Super. Okay. Thank you. That's really helpful. And, and I think it's a common thing for coaches and new coaches, and even those of us that have been in the business for a while, we're always looking at refreshing our website. Could I ask that that you sort of write your answers, because you may find an answer to the question that you've already got later on in our self-coaching. And then I'm happy to coach you on this as well. And pop it in the chat, tell me what you're doing. I just want to make sure that I kind of guide the conversation so that you can see the whole picture of the questions. And for those of you who joined a couple of minutes late, there is a Google Doc link in the chat. You can take that document and use those questions every week for yourself. Use it to set the tone every week. Create this place of setting and achieving small goals that serve you. So that's, what do you want to accomplish this week? Website content is a great thing to approach. Prospects place orders. Donna shared her thoughts on that as well. When I'm saying this, for me to fine tune it, I would say get more specific. So Leisha, when you're doing your writing, you're thinking, what do I want to accomplish? I want to have that meeting, and maybe I want to have the outline, the wireframe of the content that I'd like to have. Donna, in your case where you shared that, I would suggest how many. Get real specific with yourself. What will you define as success for this week? So then, now you've got some ideas about what would you like to accomplish? What would you intend to create? Now, how will you feel when you reach it? How will you feel when you achieve that? Take some time to write that down. Daniel, follow up with my prospective clients. Great. And again, when I'm thinking of accomplishing something in the week, I like to get super specific. Follow up with my prospective clients means follow up with 10 prospective clients, or follow up within 3 days of a conversation. Get super specific with yourself so that you know when you've achieved it. It's really easy for our brain to be like that donkey with the carrot on the end of a stick. That's always, we dangle it off into the distance. We never allow ourselves to feel successful. We're always like, one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. And it's not helpful because we end up in this place where no matter what we do, it's never enough. Well, how can that, how can that be helpful for quality of life? How can that be helpful for the people that we're here to support? If it's never enough, then we never feel like we're enough. We never show up as our biggest self to support those people. So I'm just going to give you another couple of seconds while you figure that out. How will I feel when I accomplish this? And feel free to type in the chat. How will you feel when you accomplish this? How will you feel when you have your prospects placing orders? When you've met with your web developer and outlined your content? You'll feel super. Get more specific for me, Donna. Would that be excited? Will it be thrilled? Will it be proud? It's funny, today, I hadn't anticipated that today would be the specific day, but that seems to be my theme for the day. Excited, love it, excellent. Everybody else, tell me, how is that going to feel? Relief and accomplishment, nice. That is super, super helpful. Yeah, sense of relief. For me, when I feel relief, it's like the weight of the world has dropped off my shoulders. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Beryl Ann, come back again. What does awesome mean? Awesome means good. Will you feel accomplished? Will you feel happy? Will you feel fulfilled? Yeah. It's funny, the more coaching that I do, the more I realize that this is really about our emotions. How will we feel is how we experience our life. The outside might not look much different, but if inside we feel differently, everything changes. Yeah. Cool. Yes. Oh, great. Okay, good. That's awesome, Beryl Ann. Awesome, great. Those are really good, powerful words. All right. So now you've got your little mini goal. Daniel, I will feel great if I can get my clients to either say no or yes, not a maybe. Yeah. Encouraging them to be decisive. I don't see the link. Oh, just a second, Donna. Let me see if I got it here. I'm going to copy it and pop it in there again. Thank you for sharing that you weren't able to see the link. Okay, so third question. What evidence do you have that you can and will do this? Write your answers. I want to hear from you. Write them on your sheet, write them in your journal, then pop them in the chat. What evidence do you have that you'll actually do this? That you'll actually accomplish this, that you will actually achieve this. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to figure that one out. It's a bit of a brain twister. I get it. Mm. Isn't it interesting what we discover when we get questions that make our brain twist and turn? I'll ask the question again, and maybe if I ask it in a slightly different way, it might help you. What evidence do you have that you're already in the middle of creating that thing? When we ask our brain a question, it must answer. It's like a search engine. It just scuttles all over the place looking for the answer. Sometimes we just need to hear it different. Okay. Good work, you guys. Okay, Daniel, I'll schedule this in my calendar and commit to it. I like this place of decisiveness, asking your prospective clients to be decisive, decide yes or no. They can always come back in the future, right? But for right now, that is a huge favor to your clients as well, to encourage them to be decisive and to not have these unfinished objects, indecision. It burns up all their mental energy. Donna, you say you're not sure that you have any evidence that you can and will. Interesting. Okay, sit on that for a little while. Allow that to kind of roll around in your head and see what you might find out. All right, next question. So we're still on the topic of what do you want to accomplish this week? The next question is, what resistance do you have? What doubt do you have that you can achieve this? What resistance do you have? I'll give you a little bit of time. Resistance and self-doubt is a big one, isn't it? And, so I just want you to know that showing up here on a Monday and answering these questions puts you so much farther ahead. You're doing that real hard work, that brain work. Donna, well, convincing them they need to purchase the products. Okay. So that's the place that is a bit of resistance for you, a bit of self-doubt. Daniel, none really, no resistance. So I would either challenge you that, all right, do you already have that result? That would be the place that I would ask you to look. If you already have that result, then I can see the no resistance. But if you don't have it yet, and it's something you want, it's possible there's a little bit of resistance. I do a lot of EFT tapping to move through my resistance and my self-doubt. And one of the big master practitioners that I listen to, and I do this every morning, is Brad Yates. And if you guys haven't ever done EFT tapping, I would highly recommend it. However, one of the things that Brad says is that anything that we want, if we don't have it yet, it is because there is some level of resistance to having it. And so let's pave the way. Daniel, then that means next Monday, when I see you next Monday, guess what? You're going to be there. You're going to be done. Alicia, convincing them of the value, okay, and not being able to match up to competitors. Yeah, and one of the things that I really appreciate with you showing up here and sharing your answers in the chat where we can all benefit from them is that it takes courage to admit that you've got this place of self-doubt. It's really easy to put on a brave face. It's not so easy to admit, this is a place where I'm feeling kind of doubtful. Before I go on to the next story, I want to tell you something. So next question is coming. I want you to know that the work that we're doing today, I created at an hour before this session. Now, what's very strange is that I had an entirely different worksheet and little section already set up. And this morning I woke up at 4:30, which is the normal time that my brain likes to wake up. And it said, no, we're not talking about that today. We're going to talk about this. So being a good student, I listened to that brain and got up and then created this. And so I'm hoping that me listening and being really honest with you guys, like I had an entirely different thing on stress management, ready to roll. We're all good. And then my brain says, no, you're not talking about that today, Candy. So this place where we get to be honest about what's going on. And that an hour ago, I was like, okay, we're going to do something different. What are we going to do? And here it is. So Beryl Ann, there are many aspects of a business and it's difficult to know where to start. Yes, yeah, it is. And I bet, Beryl Ann, I bet that you have history of being a really excellent employee. And it is so different being a business owner than it is being an employee. It's a completely different world. for sure. All right, so next question. We've asked about the resistance and self-doubt that you have. Now here's another one. Where have you been holding yourself back? Where have you been holding yourself back? I'm going to give you about a minute on this one. Ooh, right on. Way to out yourself, Daniel. Holding yourself back by continuing to do too much. And I need to slow down and do the things that are important. Oh, yeah. Donna, being persistent. Oh, yeah. I hear you. Yeah. The place that I hold myself back is sharing, because I mean, it's important that you guys see that you might hear me on my podcast, you might read my blog posts or whatever, however you've come into my world, but I'm just a human, just like you guys, right? The place that I hold myself back is second guessing, just second guessing myself. And that's why this morning with this little voice that said, we're going to talk about something different, I was like, nope, not second guessing, we're going to go and do it. All right. Beryl Ann, I need to inform people what I do. Of course, you can't help them if they don't even know that you could offer that, or you could help them in that way. Leisha, holding myself back by overthinking and analyzing. Oh yeah. All these protection mechanisms that we have, right? So fun. And there's nothing wrong with any of those protection mechanisms. You know, like we've grown up, we are the age we are, we've created probably a pretty good lives for ourselves. And one of our main aims in life is to stay safe and secure, is to not go out and do hard, difficult, weird things that nobody understands. But if you're called to do this, it means that that call is stronger than the desire to stay safe. And that's a huge thing. Yeah. So I really commend you guys. All right. So now, what do you bring that no one else can? What's your special sauce? And I would encourage you to be bold and not pretend that, oh, it's just a little thing. Like, what's that thing that you bring? And I don't even know what that is. Leisha, tell me what that is. Explain that, please.
Sorry, that was a typo.
Okay. And don't hold yourself back with admitting that thing that you bring that nobody else can. How does it feel when you own that, Leisha? My special sauce is that I am unorthodox and I bring my humor. How does it feel? See you nodding.
Say that one more time.
How does it feel when you own that that's your special sauce?
It feels good because I said I can't match to the competitors, but I kind of can because I bring a different perspective, right? And I'm kind of non-traditional with my thoughts. And when I bring my thoughts to the table, a lot of people are like, I never thought of it that way. And then the humor kind of makes people feel more comfortable and relaxed and more vulnerable. And I think I'm really good at that, with making people feel more vulnerable to really express themselves with the humor aspect.
Cool. I really like that. Yeah, and so often, when we're having a conversation with somebody of any kind, it's, if they feel comfortable that they can be themselves, that we create that space. This just allows so much more relationship and growth and just everything. Yeah, cool. Let me see what everybody else has got written down here. Donna, best products that don't compare to anyone else's. Cool. I love that. Now, what about you? What's the part about you that is extra special? Because if you've got fabulous products, what is it about you with those products that's really going to make all the difference? What's your superpower? Daniel, when I speak to my prospective clients, I'm very authentic with them. I can build trust and rapport very easily. They open up easily to me. Oh yeah, that's an amazing thing to be able to create connection like that and to come from a place where you can truly be yourself. I think that's one of the highest, one of the highest goals that we have for our life, to be really true to ourselves and to allow people to feel that safety and trust and rapport and connection. Beryl Ann, empathy, my perspectives and kindness. I love that. Donna, yes, I'm honest and I own being myself. Okay, you put that with those products, you got it made. It's awesome. Cool. All right, now, one last thing. You've got this thing that you want to accomplish. You've looked at some of the places you hold yourself back. You've looked at that special thing that you bring. How can you bring more fun and joy to achieving this week's goal? I'll repeat the question. How can you bring more fun and joy to creating this week's goal? And given the state of the world and all the things that are going on in our world, it's kind of an unusual question. But we don't serve the world by being overly serious. We serve the world by bringing more life and joy and fun and light into the world, helping them to realize that these products are life-changing. That's wonderful, Donna. That's how you're going to bring more fun and joy. Excellent. Okay, you guys share with me. Who else has got something? How are you going to bring more fun? More joy. You guys some of the stuff that I'm going to do this week. So starting this week with this call is fun for me, for sure. Next week, I am away, but I decided I'm still going to do one of these calls. You're just going to see me in a different location. I'm going away for a week and I'll be at a place called Long Beach, which is a few hours away from here. But the ocean is incredible. Nature is amazing. And so I'm going to show up. We're going to have a different kind of session. So that's what I'm going to do. Plan that out. What else will I do? Oh, if you're not used to me coaching, every time that you're so welcome. Yeah, you're going to come and see the view. That's great. Every time I coach with my one-on-one private clients, I love to start the session with a weird question. Like, it's a powerful question, but it's a weird question because, we have lives are ups and downs and they're good and they're bad and they're just everything, right? But if we can start with a fresh perspective instead of thinking only about our challenges, only about our problems, only about what's not working, it just changes everything in our life. So that's another thing that I'm going to do that's going to bring some fun to this week. For all my clients, you guys are going to get the new weird question of the week. So that's always fun. All right, who else has got something to put in there? Fun and joy. Have I stymied you? Have I made it like, I don't even know? I've heard from some of you, but not all. And I can't wait. Beryl Ann, I will let people know that they should not beat themselves up if things don't go as planned, and incorporate some laughter yoga in the different things that they do. Oh, excellent. I love that. That's so fun. Yeah, yeah. And the kindness too. There's that place of empathy and kindness that you were talking about, right? There it is, coming through. Good for you. Humor would make it fun and exciting. Yes, most definitely. I want you to know that there's actually a reason that I asked this question. Anytime that we want to create something new, whether it's following up with clients or signing new clients or creating something, working on a website, the more that we bring fun and joy to that, the easier it is. Everything is so much more joyful when we bring that fun with us. People love to be part of things that are safe, that are secure, a place where they can trust, and also a place that's kind of fun, right? Like it's so magnetic. Donna, if they would purchase and then let me know how it worked for them. Awesome. I love that. That's so great. Cool. All right, last question. What secret message do you want to share with yourself? What's a secret message that you would share with yourself? I can do this. I'm in this all the way. That has such a feeling of commitment to it. Let it come, let it be, let it go. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Very profound. Cool. Francis, I know that you had some connectivity issues joining us, but I'm so glad you persevered, and I'm glad that you're here. You can always listen to the replay to start at the questions at the start, and hopefully you find them helpful. Don't quit. Yeah. Leisha, you are so much more than you think. Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. You guys have some amazing pieces of wisdom. Yeah. What would I share? What secret message? You can see me, I'm thinking. I don't have it. Didn't prepare the secret message. I think that it's the secret message that I would share, and this is more for a secret message that I would share with you, is that you are far more capable than you know. You are capable of so much more, and that I believe that you can do whatever it is you set your heart to. That would be my secret message for you. And I hope you take that to heart and use it so that it spurs you on. Do some mindfulness exercises. Oh yeah, I love that. Mindfulness is always cool. Yes, yeah, love that dearly. Okay, so that's the written coaching for the week. We've got a little bit more time. We've got time for some verbal coaching. Anybody want to be coached? Put your hand up. You can know where to put your little hand up is in the, I think it's in the reactions. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the thing that says reactions and a place to raise hand. And if you raise a hand, then I will invite to coach. You tell me. Hey, Donna, come on through. See your little thumbs up. Take yourself off mute and let's coach. But I would love it if you would come on camera. It would be so much easier for me. And I can see your lovely smiling face. You should be able to unmute yourself, Donna, if you want to be coached. There you are. Okay, I can see you're unmuted. Are you able to come on camera?
No, I prefer not to. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Okay. I'm getting feedback. So that's going to be distracting. Have you got an extra speaker on or something like that?
Yes, I have a speaker. My speaker on my phone is crap.
Ah. Come back to me again. And you think you got yourself untangled. So Donna, type me a little note if you think you're going to be able to. Interesting. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, Daniel. Is that the marketplace thing? We can talk about that after I chat with Donna. So Donna, what would you like to be coached on today? What would make this powerful?
Well, I'm in network marketing, so that's what makes it difficult to convince people that if they would just spend their money and not go buy all the crap at the store and change out their products and use these products, that they would be far better off. But they look at the prices and then they don't want to purchase.
So here's what I hear is that you're asking them to make a significant investment and at the same time, so money investment, time investment to use your products. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So my question would be, where do you not 100% believe that it's worth it?
Oh, I believe it. I use the products. They're life changing. They actually do something to your body. So I don't understand why they don't want to make the change.
Well, I hear that you're coming from a place of convincing. And anytime there's convincing, there's a feeling of being pressed and forced. People are not usually that fond of it. So what's another approach that you could use? Maybe there is a slow path instead of a fast path that might support you.
They just need to try the products.
How can they do that in an easy, non-convincing way?
Believe in my stories and other people's testimonies.
Mm-hmm. So putting their belief in, in the experience that you've had, and then try them.
Yes.
Is there a slow path or do they have to go fast with this? And what I mean is when you first described it, you said, sort of get all those other products that aren't helpful out of their home, out of use, and then buying new products and replacing them. So that sounds like a big venture. That's the place that I'm kind of wondering is maybe that step is a huge step for people. Maybe there's another step that they could take. What might that be?
Well, to give them a sample and have them try it.
Okay. And how does that go?
Well, after you give them the sample, then they have to try it. Are they going to try it? I can only give them the sample.
Right.
Will they be willing to try it?
I don't know. There you go. Will they be willing? That's the question that you're needing to learn more about the people that you're trying to support. Are you willing to try it or not? Right? Because there's no point in giving samples to people who aren't willing to try it. And convincing is not helpful. You've demonstrated that already. You found that out. So how do you do that?
Well, give them proof that, like the one cleaning product that is in the line, if you show them the scientific proof that the cleaners that they're buying in their house are toxic to the body and have chemicals in it, and in long term after use will, bring free radicals and toxicity to the body. Why would they not want to throw them out and use something that they could actually drink and it wouldn't hurt them to clean their house or to clean their toilet? But then they look at the
So here's-
price and they
So,
don't want to
Donna,
buy it.
just a second here, just a second, Donna. So it's possible that a good exercise for you to do is to take that away and write a full long list of why they wouldn't want to. Why is it inconvenient? Why don't they think that it's the right approach for them? And there is a long list there that you could understand what's going on with your potential clients and with their mind. And that might help you move forward. So come back next week, ask me some more questions, okay?
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
And will you do that? Do that list of why it's not a good idea? You want to find out what's going on for them, right?
Yeah, it all boils down to, if these products were, $5, they would purchase them. But because they're not, that's what holds them back, because, the world just fell apart and people lost their jobs and they got to support their families and they don't want to make that leap. It's all about just making that leap.
So
Or if
spend
they
some
would just-
time, so spend some time journaling on that one. And Daniel's given you some good input as well in the chat. So have a read of that. I'm looking forward to talking to you next week. Okay, who's next? Daniel, you had put in a couple of links here about this marketplace episode. I have not watched it. And so I can't really comment on it, but I'm assuming it's the one that says that the life coaching industry has got a lot of variety, that there are a lot of people who have no training, that there's no credentialing, that there's no validity. And yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I can't say that I disagree with the original premise, but before I really have a conversation about it, I'd like to watch it myself. Is that okay? Are you able to come back next week and then maybe we can talk about it? Here's why. I mean, as a coach, I think all coaches need strong coaching skills. And right now, that is the good thing and the not good thing about the life coaching industry, is there are people who have taken in-depth coaching who are using exceedingly tight credentials to coach, and then there's no need. There's lots of people who are kind, wonderful, loving people who don't have the coaching skills but are still calling themselves a coach. And so the resolve is the industry needs to be regulated. Yeah, and that's a bigger question. So let me look at that marketplace, the marketplace piece, and then we can chat about it next week. And that'll be a really interesting conversation. Cool. Are you an ICF coach, Daniel? Just curious. No? Okay. Yeah. So do you want to just take yourself off mute for a minute so I can just ask you a couple of questions? I want to hear your perspective on it too.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So is this the piece that you're talking about, this life coach industry piece?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the industry needs to be regulated, and I think we need to get a lot of people who are certified to create a momentum to make it happen. There's so many coaches out there who, like you said, who call themselves coaches, but they can be you can call yourself a coach without even being a coach, without having the credentials. I think they're damaging the whole industry for everyone.
Yeah. I think where it starts is that there's not even a really good definition of what coaching is. I mean, there's a couple
right.
of large governing bodies that have tried to put some kind of regulations in place. I'm a PCC with the International Coach Federation, and I just renewed my credential, and I've taken so much training. And so I definitely ascribe to, we need to have some kind of consistency within the industry, but I don't have the exact solution. So thanks for bringing that up. And somebody had sent me that link, so I am going to watch it and bring it back next week. Let's talk about it and see what we think. The funny thing that I find is that I know coaches and I work with coaches who do not have a lot of training, who are amazing coaches. So how do we bring all the people together under one body? That's the challenge, right? I don't have the answer. Looking forward to chatting about it though.
Yeah,
okay.
likewise.
Super. Who else wants to be coached? We've got a couple more minutes, another 5 minutes before it's time to sign off. And that is lots of time to coach. All right. Going. You guys got 5 minutes of amazing coaching. Get clarity on one thing. Leisha, you had something in the chat that you put. You mind if I put you on the hot seat?
Sure.
Okay. There was something in the chat that you wrote right at the beginning. And I'm wondering if you feel like you got some clarity about it with working through those exercises.
What did I put? Sorry.
Oh, I have to go back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. Feeling a sense of relief and accomplishment.
Yeah. And then after that, you had this place where you were concerned about competitors, but I think you resolved some of that in your head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything you want coaching on? We got a couple minutes before we wrap it up.
Yeah, just overcoming that fear of comparing myself to others.
Yeah.
And like, how can I just do it? Like, just go and do it. You know what I mean? Because I have the credentials. I actually have a PhD, and I'm actually getting ICF certified right now. So why am I holding myself back?
Yeah. So this isn't Q&A, this is coaching. So why are you holding yourself back? Right?
Yeah,
you knew I was going to ask you that question.
Yeah, I'm constantly putting myself on the defensive, asking myself, like, what are the barriers? Like, what obstacles are getting in the way? And I can only think of one, and it's me. Like, I'm my only obstacle.
Yeah, I hear you. And so what's one small step that you could take? That's really, and earlier when you were talking about your websites are a big project, and they are, a website is an important tool for a business for sure. I can't remember who it was that mentioned that it was challenging this starting, but as a newer coach coming in, the most important thing is clients and coaching.
Right.
That's it. Coach more hours. I don't care how you do it, who pays you, free, paid. I don't care. I don't care if it's single sessions or this thing that I have that I call the 5x5 that I task all of my clients with. Get 5 people and coach them for 5 hours each. Just get coaching.
Yeah.
You start doing that and you just start feeling that. I don't know how to describe it. It's like this. That's so much fun, right? Feeling when you're doing it, and nothing will stop you. All that other stuff will fall away. Get coaching. Coach your people. Yeah.
I feel like my husband, he's really great. He's been like referring me to people, and they're like been calling me, and I like freeze up. I'm like, I'm like, do I know what I'm doing? But then at the end of the day, I do know what I'm doing. I'm just overthinking about it. You know what I'm saying? And not doing it.
I think that being scared is a problem. but being scared is just part of the journey.
Yeah.
If you have a little bit of time, one of my podcast episodes is called, it's a replay of the 5 C's of Confidence Masterclass. Have a listen to that.
Oh, is
There
that like in,
I
is
think,
that
I
in your,
can't remember what episode it is. It's a replay of my masterclass called the 5C Confidence Formula, something like that. It came out
Yeah.
early in January. Listen to that. The thing with fear is it's always going to be here. We think fear is a problem, but fear is not a problem. It's just an emotion. The
Mhm.
minute that you start to take a small step or a larger step, the minute you start to coach people and you start to get excited, the fear will just be gone.
Yeah.
It's only because you're focusing on the fear that it's bugging you right now. And guess what? We all feel fear. Like, honestly, we're all scared sometimes. That's the way it is, right?
Yeah.
You can do this. What's the one thing you're going to do this week that is not your website, that is going to challenge you to get coaching? And then I want to hear from you next week, how it goes.
Well, this week, one challenge I can do, well, I have 3 clients this week, just so that you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So, so that's a good thing. But I'm going to really tune in on like some of my powerful questioning this week so that I could feel more confident going into the sessions as well too, and not overthink if I'm going to ask the right question, just going with the flow and really challenging myself just to make it natural and organic as possible.
Dance in the moment. My tip is focus on your client.
Okay.
Just focus on them and the question will come.
Okay.
You know, sometimes what they need is more silence than another question.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. And I'm glad I got a chance to talk with so many of you, too. That's fun. All right. Next week, yes, we're on. Come join me. We'll be at Long Beach. If the weather is half decent and not pouring rain, I'll try to be outside. And then you can see the ocean and enjoy some of the views that I'm taking part into. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.